Hi, everyone. So we're at the second day of Consensus 2026 in Miami, and one of the key topics in this conference is really security and fraud, and what's sort of happening with AI now in the space, maybe accelerating that more than we expected. And so we wanted to speak to someone who really understands that part of the industry well. And Henry, do you want to maybe introduce yourself to the audience, your project, and we'll take it from there.
Sure. My name is Eric Henry. I am the CEO of Exfil. It's a company that focuses on detecting infrastructure that's used for fraud and scams, particularly on the Web2 and Web3 side. There's a big gap in that space. So we like to bridge the gap and complement other security tools that might be used in the crypto space and finance.
Right. So when you look at sort of the current state of where we are with how much AI has advanced everything, and also in the area, unfortunately, of fraud, who do you think is sort of winning? Is it bad actors, or is it sort of security tools and the good actors in the space?
That's a very good question. So from what I've been seeing over the last couple of years, the bad actors, they don't have a lot of red tape. And with AI being introduced to the public, it allows them to operate a lot faster and at scale. And I think that is a losing battle when it comes to the good guys versus the bad guys, because the security space tends to be more reactive.
Right.
And I do see a fundamental shift to us being more proactive and hunting these bad actors down. However, when it comes to the policymakers, government, those things tend to be very slow because it's very methodical. And so because of that, I think the bad guys are winning when it comes to standing up infrastructure really quickly due to utilizing AI.
Right. Yeah. So there's a bit of catching up for us to do at the moment. And when it comes to really then detecting fraud or maybe preventing fraud, and maybe that's a question you can actually answer, like what really needs to sort of come first? Is it actually like the detection part of it? Is it the prevention part of it? How are you sort of looking at it? What can we do in terms of prevention?
Yeah, I think there's a balance that needs to be thought of. When it comes to detection, it's very easy if you know what the activity is to scale that out,
to find it,
and identify unique signatures based off behaviors. When it comes to the prevention piece, education is important for all communities. A lot of times people click on, phishing links, and they click on, malicious domain links because they don't understand the impact it could impact their bank account access. It could impact, the amount of money they have on their credit card. So the education on how these actors target people and target infrastructure needs to be focused on, I think, in the greater community. And if with that, and in addition to detection, utilizing maybe AI and some other unique opportunities, I think we will be able to have a better footprint and handle on how to detect those things faster.
And what advice would you give specifically for businesses that are scaling fast right now? They're using a lot of new tech. They're maybe cutting corners. Like, how do you actually avoid getting burned as a business in this space?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I can think of some times where I worked for certain businesses in the private sector where they had a deadline they needed to meet and they cut corners. And there's some risk involved there. So if there is a risk involved that can impact clients, you probably should take a couple steps back and look at the right way to do it when it comes to implementing security controls and identifying what other vulnerabilities might be in that software, because it's very important. But however, I've been seeing some things that you probably have seen in the space too. A lot of the bad actors aren't really looking at smart contract code to exploitation. They're looking at the human element, the human error, the social engineering. Some of them are actually meeting with the targets that they're going to steal the money from. So it goes back to education on how these actors are thinking. There's key red flags. All the different types of hacks that I've seen that involve social engineering, the victims have said, well, there was something off about this whole situation, but I didn't do anything about it. And so training those individuals to follow a specific process, and if there is some question of, hey, this doesn't sound right, maybe I should take a step back and talk to a security professional like yourself or like me to help with their journey throughout running their business or controlling large amounts of crypto in their treasury.
Yeah, one question I'd also be curious to ask you, like you have a background in government intelligence, and where do you think the government is at? Like, are they catching up with how fast this thing is evolving?
Another good question. So I believe the government, from what I've been seeing, in the news and talking to some of the policymakers, they see that there's a serious threat there when it comes to, different types of smart contracts that might have some vulnerable code, as well as the AI threats when it comes to, doing code analytics within AI. Bad actors and as well as white hat hackers can find vulnerabilities very quickly. There was recently a article that I read where I think it was Anthropic that had a model that was able to find 0-day vulnerable code that existed, decades, and it found it very quickly to the point where they had to put a pause on releasing that capability to the public. So I think there's a personal responsibility as well as a corporate responsibility. If you have access to tools like that, there needs to be a framework on how to operate. And I believe Congress and the policymakers are discussing that right now as we speak.
Yeah.
And I believe the rest of the government within, Europe and Asia are probably having those conversations too as well. So we're gonna have to work together to form a general framework on how we operate, and then also work on ways to get the upper hand and go hand in hand with the bad actors in the space that are leveraging AI.
Yeah, so if you think you show up in a consensus 2030, where do you think we are? Like, have we totally wrapped our sort of head around this problem and it's solved? Or are we now facing different issues because different tech?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some issues with new tech. And I say that because coming to Miami, it was a culture shock for me because I stayed at Brickell for a day, and I saw chickens and roosters running around in the city with construction of really large scale apartments and condos. And then on the other side, I saw robots running around and doing deliveries and cars that are driving by themselves. So I think in 2030, we're going to see more of that, robots doing work on the street. They will probably have a wallet address, and there will probably be some type of agentic AI running in the background. And so we'll have to learn how to live with them, coexist with them, as well as understand what the security implications come from
someone
that.
will be trying to hack those robots.
Exactly. So I've had some conversations with colleagues of mine previously about the self-driving cars. Really cool tech, but a little bit concerning. I don't know what the security is behind that, but I'll throw an example at you. Let's say there's a high net worth individual that purchases a vehicle that self-drives, and that vehicle gets hacked because the tech has not been fully reviewed for security vulnerabilities. That car could either been driven to a location to kidnap that individual tries to leave, the car speeds up. There's so many different nuances when it comes to that stuff. And I don't know if we as a whole and the security community has actually discussed those types of threats. And it's going to be really interesting how that plays out over the next couple of years.
Where can people get in touch with you? Where can they learn more about what you do?
Sure. So you can find us on X at Exfil, Exfil AI, as well as you can find us on online at exfil.ai.
Cool. All right. So we'll drop all those links in the description of the video. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And
really appreciate it.
thanks everyone for watching as well.